Hello guys, what's going on? Welcome to Bullfunk Studios. My name's Asad Lakis, aka Bullfunk Zoo. Today's episode, or today what I'm going to be talking about is tracking and recording and kind of writing music. So I've been writing this piece of music which is going to feature a singer, a soul singer, and it's got this Motown soul vibe to it. So I've been working on it as a scratch track. Obviously later on I will have a live drummer play on it and probably some other instrumentation. But for now I'm doing all the scratch parts, and I thought I'd build up the guitars and whatnot. So early this morning I came up with a really cool idea for a riff on the guitar, which I used my Strat, my trusty Strat, and my lovely wife was sleeping, so I didn't want to wake her up. So instead of running it through my rig, which is over here, my amp and all that good stuff, and into my speaker cabinet, I decided to, why not? Let's give it a good DI into the 1073 over here, and just to record the idea, and then later on I'd retrack the guitar with my amp and so forth just to get that tonality I want. But funny enough, I got a really good result out of it because it needed that really clean guitar tone. Anyway, I'm going to play a piece of the song and so you could hear what the hell I'm talking about. So this is the Strat line in, funny enough. This is how it sounds. So what I did as well, just to kind of liven it up a bit more, I put a little compressor on it and Sound Toys micro shift, just to give it more of that width. I thought, you know, if I might not re-record it, I might as well make it sound good. And I put the 175 by UA over here, as you can see, and it gives it that nice little crunch. I'll just show you how it sounds like, actually. So just that with 175. There you go, it's got that nice little crunch without it. So this is the pure DI signal in there with a bit of verb. Not bad for a DI signal, don't you think? Pretty good. Now with the compressor, the one I love the 175. It just sounds fantastic. Just brings it around, you know what I mean? And then I decided to put the Sound Toys micro shift, give it a stereo width. So right now, if you hear where it's sitting, now the thing is, I think with the audio right now we're recording is all in mono, so I'm hoping that you'll be able to hear the stereo. I'm not sure. But either way, that's fine. I just wanted to show you how it works. So this is with the micro shift on. And there we go. Pretty cool, huh? It gives it kind of a chorusy effect, but, you know, in the mix, I suppose. I'm not really mixing, I'm just putting a scratch down. So just to get ideas and just get more inspired, so when a vocalist comes in, at least he gets some kind of vibe, and he can write a lot easier that way. So it's nice to set people up to record nicely. But anyway, so what I did over here was I went into my 1073, which I'll show you in a second. So if you look at my signal, I actually drove it pretty hard. I wanted to go into a little bit of saturation. So as you can see, you know, with a mic preamp of 1073, usually it's around here, good for vocals, but then you crunch it when it goes up over the next position of the mic input, mic preamp input. So I went up to about 60, put the EQ on there, and I added a little bit of 220, which is a nice little frequency range for guitars. and I added a bit of 7.2K and a little bit of 12K shelf, and I dimed the trim, the output trim, just to get as much crunch as I can. So I got that signal which you heard right now on the 1073, which is pretty dope. So over here, I'm not sure if you guys seen any of the last episode, but I have this specially made ISO cab. It's a diaphragmatic absorber, or a Helmholtz actually. It's tuned for any speaker cabinets, because the problem is with most ISO cabs, they sound very muffled and they could be very muddy with all that pressure that happens inside. But the way Grossman, this crazy German dude, his name is Grossman right here, he's made this. If you look at this from the inside, it's pretty mad. But all the material and the way he's designed it is all in here. It's really heavy. Isolates the sound really well, which is great. So I can crank my amp up as much as I can to let the valves or tubes, you know, warm up. My setup over here is a 57 and a Royer ribbon mic, the R10. So the way I usually have it set, which is the sweet spot, is, as you can see with these angles, everything's spiked. So I'd know every time I'd move it what I'd do with it. So the 57 is kind of pointing a little off axis from the cone. So it's in between the cone and the main diaphragm of the speaker cabinet. The speaker, sorry. And the R10, the Royer R10, the ribbon mic, is pointing at the cone. But what I've done here is I've twisted it a little bit, pointing that way, just to take a bit of the edge off from all the high mids that come out from and the highs from the center of the cone, and made sure that they're both in phase. If you can see the capsule of the 57 right here, which ends right over here, is aligned with the capsule of the ribbon mic, which is over here. So these mics at this moment are patched into my Manly Force preamp over here. Usually my sweet spot, but I always like to change and get a different result or a different color. I'd have the 57 going into my Dakin, which is kind of that API Trident sound. It's punchy, and you know, it's got a great mid-range on it. And I would patch my Royer R10 either into my 1073 or my Phoenix or the Manly, depending on the situation. Lately, I've been going for the Manly of both the mics in here, and I consolidate them together, mold them together, and commit to them and just print them as stereo. So since I recorded with a Strat, and Strat, you know, it's known for its single coils, I figured now I'm going to experiment and double the guitars with an amp if it needs it. So since we have a nice kind of sound through the DI into the 1073 from earlier, I thought maybe, you know what, why not use P90 pickups on my SG? This lovely guitar was given to me by a good friend of mine. His name is Said Bintok. He's an amazing dude. He said, you know, you deserve this. I'm like, wow. You know, I was humbled. But anyway, thanks to Said, my good friend, for giving me this lovely SG. And I thought I'd use this in contrast to my Strat, which has single coils, because it's got P90s on it. So get more of a creamier sound and a darker tone that is going to complement that Strat. So I got a bit of verb, a bit of spring reverb on there. So I'm looking at, because that's got a nice brighter sound. So I'm thinking maybe I'll do something more of a darker, creamier sound from here, maybe with a bit of saturation on this, just to complement that tone. So let's hear how it sounds by itself. And this is the riff. So we get a little drive. So I'm driving the amp a bit more than usual, and that amp is really cranked at this moment. So it's feeling, so I might turn this a bit down, get this back up here. Let's see what tone I get from that. I think that could work. Let's check this pickup. Maybe this pickup would sound good. Now I've got the tone all the way choked up, so. But all of that is determined when I play it with the song and see what it sounds like. So here I'm gonna like weigh and vary. Okay, now we got this signal. How does it sound or complement the single coil? So I'm gonna play that now. Nice. Let's try with the bridge pickup. With this sound, it's overpowering the other sound, so I want something to complement that sound. So maybe what I'll do is I will choke the tone again and let this one handle more of the low mids, low end, and let the other one handle more of the high mids and low mids and highs. I could turn up the tones a bit more. So I'm not sure if you guys got what I was doing, so I'm trying to complement the SG with the Strat, whether it needs it or not, but I'm going to try it out anyway. So let's hear it. So I panned the Strat hard left and the SG hard right, and we'll just solo these two and just see if they are actually complementing each other. Let's hear it. I'm just playing with the pans right now just to kind of get them in perspective. So I'm gonna put them with the track, with the pans, see how they sound. Might not sound good, but whatever. Let's hear it. Kind of sounds cool, so I'm gonna mute the new guitar and just hear how it sounds with just the Strat and with it on. Still sounds good, but I think the SG adds a little bit of something in there, don't you think? With the SG. Without the SG. With the SG. That's pretty cool. I like it. I like it. It's building up to something. Of course, I gotta lay down a bass line to this track. And I did lay down a bass line earlier, but I wasn't too happy with it. I'm not sure if it works or not with the song. I just laid it down just to get some bottom end. My brother is an amazing bass player, and he's a lefty. He doesn't live here, but he leaves this space here when he comes out to where I live. So if he's got a gig, he can use this space. No, but what I've done is I've flipped the strings around, and it's a pain in the ass because all the knobs are here, and when I'm playing, they start moving. Anyway, but I got used to playing it. It's a nice sounding bass. It's got a lot of power to it, so I'm trying to get more of that jazz-based sound on this song. It's a bit difficult with this one, but it's manageable. So I'll just show you my chain setup for the bass, in general, how I record it or how I even mix it. So that bass comes in, and I have two signals usually running, but today I'm gonna run one signal. So that bass comes in. I have this really good Ampeg SCR DI, but this right now, for demonstration purposes, is running through my manly core. It's a manly day today. We're all men here. So right now I have it into the preamp, running a bit hot with a little bit of compression. Actually, we're gonna test that out right now and see how it sounds. Again, it's gonna be a little bit of a noisy kind of bass, but it doesn't really matter because it sounds good. All right. So if you look at the compression here, I really don't have much going on. I mean, it's like about -2 dB, but it gives it that sound. So without it, can you hear the difference? This is without it. With it. Without it. So if you notice with it, it gives it kind of that rounder sound, just subtle, very subtle. But it works well. I don't have much going on the EQ and not much happening on the limiter. I just want to go straight in. But on my DI, that's where the kind of EQ, it's all really center, middle. The mid range is, I've pushed that up. I might push this up a little bit more just to get more of that mid range and maybe a little bit more treble. Now bear in mind, this bass has a lot of tones on it and it's a bit complex. I'm still trying to figure out how to use it. All right, let's track this baby. 1, 2, I went off a bit on a tangent there. I just really needed to hear the main first line of this. So yeah, I think for now, at least the bass idea is down and set to go. Let's hear how it sounds. So right now, let's hear how the bass sounds. All right. At least I'm playing on time. Yeah. Yep. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed today. Well, that's kind of my beginning process of writing a song or recording it, kind of. Again, I wouldn't call it like my official tracking, but it's just to track my scratch ideas to work with other people, as mentioned before. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. Do leave a comment below, you know, if you want to see more or whatnot, and you know, subscribe and like and follow and do all that good stuff. Anyway, Happy producing, mixing, writing, recording, and all that good stuff. I'll see you guys later. Bye.